Is there no music?
All right, so my mic is muted, and there's an
I
echo.
noticed that. I was muted also. I was like, hey, did I mute myself? Because I was putting the food up here. But hello, everybody.
Yeah, the system mutes you when we go into that timer thing, and Anyway.
So I have some prettiness. I'm going to see if I can get this up here.
I know. I was trying to get it all like dialed in and played up here, but I labeled this like as our episode tonight was just a hangout. It was a wine and cheese hangout, and people maybe went, why do we do that? Do you realize this is episode number 69?
Oh, it's 69. I thought it was. I just said to somebody at the Canby liquor store that it was episode 68 or 67. I think I told her. Yeah. I was like, I didn't realize it was already 69. Wow.
We're at 69 episodes, all right, and it's been a journey. It really has been a journey. So
it has. It's been a good journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hanging out, but we are also doing something with that's specific. So we are doing it very specific to cheese and wine day.
Yes. So it was cheese and wine day was listed out. So we decided to do that, something around that. So anyway, we put that down there. So
yes. So, and that's tomorrow. So cheese and wine day is tomorrow. So did you put together a gorgeous charcuterie board as you were gonna?
Well, I threw something together.
Oh, you just threw it together?
I just
look at the beauty. Oh my goodness, that is gorgeous. Oh, you even have chocolate back there.
I got chocolate back here. I've got like a goat cheese, some olives, carrots, snap peas, pate, some prosciutto back here, some bread, right? Okay. Strawberries and some walnuts and dried cherries.
Oh, very nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what I tried to do is put 1, 2, 3, 4 different cheeses.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with I did have strawberries. I opted not to put them in, but I put the blueberries. I put 2 different types of olives, prosciutto. Then of course my grapes here and here. This is a sharp white cheddar. This one is prosciutto. Excuse me. This one is provolone. This is a prosciutto, provolone. The extra sharp yellow cheddar, and then this is an herb goat cheese. Mind you, I'm usually not a big goat cheese fan, but because of the herbs, I had to try it.
Then of course cheese I have too. So yeah.
Okay. This one is a chocolate covered almonds, and then of course a few other nuts. Then of course had to have some baby pickles. These are from Vlasic, the snacking ones. Then this is a local jam. It's Kelly's Marionberry habanero pepper. So this one is a sweet and sour. And then over here I have some marinated teriyaki mushrooms. And then here is some salami, and then a little bit of ham. So I kind of tried to add a few different colors in there, and to play around with different things that I normally I don't normally would do this. I normally would add the veggies. I normally would add shrimp. I would not have goat cheese. So mushrooms are something completely new. I usually don't add any type of jam. So this time a little bit different. So yeah. And then what kind of wine did you come up with?
So last night at dinner, we had this white Chardonnay that Gwen found.
Okay.
I've got some of it left, and I wanted to try it on here tonight.
Oh.
All
right. Very nice.
But I also was trying to going through 2 of my Texas favorites to find some wines that I have, and I only had one of them that I had a cab left. Okay. The other one had blends, but not a cab.
Oh, very nice.
This is Messina Hoff, and it's the Palo Cab. It's a Texas winery.
Okay.
All right. Part of the Messina Hoff family. Right.
Very nice.
I got a piece of bread in the throat.
Drink some water.
I did have, but I didn't open it. This is a New Mexico Sauvignon Blanc I have.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Cabernet that I had, and I didn't open it yet. And I had a Good Guy, which is another Texas blend that I could open, and I was kind of seeing what I was going to open, because lately in the house that we've had so many wines opened that we have not finished them.
Yeah, and then you keep them there, and and then you're like, oh my goodness, now they become cooking wines.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to grab, because I did have some foo-foo crackers, but I didn't bring those out, but I do have my other crackers, so let me grab my crackers. Because how
I
can
didn't
we
have any
do
crackers, just bread on mine.
Yeah, I didn't get bread. I opted for crackers instead of bread this time. I usually like, the fun bread, but this time I ended up with crackers. So I knew I had an extra little plate. I was like going, why do I have an extra plate? It's because I forgot my crackers. So that'll be something to add, because you always have to have something.
Yeah. So what wines did you pick tonight?
So what I did was that as I was thinking about what I wanted to bring and what I wanted to share, of course, Willamette Valley Vineyards is always my go-to. And then I have others. But then I thought, oh my goodness, I had this flight from One Hope Wine that has a little mini Brut, a little mini Chardonnay, a Pinot Noir, and a Cab.
Yeah.
So this was a flight that I had purchased I don't know, last year. I just hadn't touched it. It was just sitting there in my living room. I had it with all my wines, and I said, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity to try these, because I've tried some of them. I've tried the Pinot, and I've tried the Chardonnay. I've not tried their Cab, and I've not tried their sparkling. Because one of my friends, she was, I don't know if she's still an ambassador or a wine enthusiast, if you will, because One Hope Wine, one of the things about them is that they want to not only sell wine, but they want to give. They want to give back. So 20% of sales goes to a nonprofit. So a lot of times what we were doing is that when we would have, when our nonprofit was part of our networking group, we would have a gathering, and she would come out, and we got to taste the wine, and then we were able to buy it, and 10% of the sales would go to that nonprofit, because they're essentially their thing is that it's a wine built on hope and rooted in purpose. And it all came from way back when, 2007, where they were all part, those that started it were part of, they were working for Gallo. And so as they're doing this, they're putting a shelving together, or putting wine in the shelves, and they see that a lot of these wines, because it was October, they had the pink ribbon for supporting breast cancer. So, but it was usually for 1 month. And they said, well, what can we do to do more than just 1 month, that we can do 365 days a year? And so they didn't have enough money to start a winery, but they said, okay, what can we do to make this happen? And one of the founders, he got a call from a friend of his that was, she was just recently diagnosed with cancer. And he says, tell you what, you beat cancer, and we will start this way of giving back through wine. And so that's how it all started. It was just something that was an undeniable calling to do good. And so he pitched it to his colleagues, and the idea, nobody had the money for it, but they said, well, we'll still create it. So in 2007 is when One Hope Wine was started. And it was essentially, they were sourced from already finished wines. They would relabel and deliver on their own, and then they would give proceeds to mainly breast cancer, autism, and AIDS. Those were the three main things. But it has grown to where now there are a lot more charities. And if I want to give to a specific charity and I have a tasting, and any sales that are made through me then go to the charity that I choose,
Oh, wow.
which is really cool. And it was kind of neat because that was 2007. And 2009, one of the other co-founders met Michael Mondavi from the Mondavi wineries, and he was inspired, and so he offered his support and then introduced them to multiple vineyards, and so that we're able to start sourcing the grapes from these vineyards in order to make their own wine. In 2010, the son, Robert Mondavi Jr., became the winemaker all the way through 2016 when it was taken over by somebody else as the head winemaker. But it was in 2014 that they purchased the acreage in St. Helena in Napa, but they did not actually open their actual tasting room until 2021. So
Wow.
right in the middle of COVID is when they opened their tasting room. And they've just been growing and raising money for causes and encouraging others to do so. So they are, before they opened the winery, everything was just online because it was a direct to consumer. You purchased and it got shipped to you, and they still do that. Hence, I still have the box where this came in. These are plastic. This one is glass, but these are plastic, and they're smaller. And most wineries don't usually do tasters like this because it's more expensive. But the reason they do it is that you buy this for like $99, and then they give you a credit, and then you get the discount on the bundles, and so you're getting more than the $99 back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still $99, but I did get it. But they have donated over $8 million to local and global causes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So I was like, you know what, I got to bring one hope. That's why I had to. It was just one of those things that I go, you know what, I got to try it, got to do this. So that's
cool.
where all that came about.
So, you know, it's every winery has a story behind it, or every brand has a story behind it.
Right.
You know, and that's where some people, they get lost in, you know what I mean? You know, the people who are just like, wow, I just want to go have go have a beer. Some of this, not just the flavors, but some of it is the story behind going to the distillery, the winery, things like that, to find out what happened. My favorite thing so far I'm eating is the pate, which I love pate.
I mix my goat cheese with the Marionberry habanero, and Marionberry that's an Oregon thing. It is a crossed or a man-made, if you will, berry that has been developed over the years, and it is just grown in Oregon. So if you get Marionberry pie, they came from Oregon, which is kind of cool. So this is local. This is Kelly's Marionberry habanero pepper jelly. And it's the perfect complement to every dish. Add a balanced touch of heat and sweet to appetizers, mains, and desserts. Recipes at kellysjelly.com. And they're actually distributed in Lake Oswego, which is about 15 minutes north of where I'm at. So that's Kelly's. So I had to try them out and go, hey, try something different. And then, of course, in my nuts, I still have some of my local nuts. And so I try to bring up Oregon whenever I can. So
yeah, we get it. You live in Oregon. Yeah, we get it.
Right. But I always love to just add, when it's prosciutto, I just like the prosciutto and cheese, nothing else. And I had prosciutto and cheese with beer in Valencia, Spain. Bought it for everybody, and then we found a little spot, and it's like, okay, here you go. And everybody got prosciutto with cheese and breadsticks, those really long, those skinny breadsticks.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
I looked at one of the charcuterie boards I was looking at creating actually had breadsticks in it. I thought about that, but anyway.
Hey, this did pop. I did have a little bit of a pop there. So I got my pit pop is and clink, so you can see I was seeing the smoke come out. It's kind of cool.
So this is the one thing. This wine we had last night was a glass and plastic cork.
Oh, okay.
Is it fully glass? I don't know, because it was a pain to get out. I remember it was a pain to get out last night, and it's going to be a pain to get out again tonight. It is you can see that it's a glass cork.
Oh, I have one of those. Okay. So it is crisp. It is refreshing. Is yours crisp and refreshing?
Well, I've been drinking the red because I just had it in a glass already. But let's try it. This Chardonnay was a pretty good Chardonnay, and I'm not a Chardonnay fan.
Well, this one I don't remember because usually I don't like Chardonnay because they're usually too buttery for my palate.
Yeah.
I do like here in Oregon, most Chardonnays are made in stainless steel, which of course tastes really good because it's nice and clean and crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how.
I will say that Chardonnay goes very well with strawberry. Mm-hmm. Always good to find your pairs and your matches.
Well, I did the ooh, that one's got a little bit of a kick. The salami here. I'm gonna try it with the goat cheese because again, I'm not a big goat cheese fan, but I think that I'll see how. I don't think it'll fare well with the habanero because I think it's going to be too sweet for the sparkling, especially because it's fruity and it's citrusy, and I don't know that the citrusy and the
I'm gonna go see if I got crackers to go with this. I'll be right back.
So always feel free to try. How do you like it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Like again, I'm not a big goat cheese fan, but in this case, I said, you know what? I do want to try to try it because I don't know if I'm going to like it. Don't know if I'm not going to like it. I wanted to try it with the Marionberry, and I wanted to see how it would go with my whites. I think the goat cheese would go better with like my Pinot Noir, but let's see how I like it with my sparkling. Because sometimes those flavors just blend so beautifully that it's like, hey, this goes, and you're able to enjoy it. Something that you normally go, I don't know, maybe not. But I'm going to add a little bit more. The other one had very little. I was a little hesitant, so on this one, I'm going to add a little bit more goat cheese.
I found pita chips. I really don't have any crackers in my house. I have pita chips. Is that bad?
No, I almost got pita chips today, but they were herbed pita chips that I saw, and I didn't want herbed. I wanted them neutral.
Yeah, like a sea. Whereas these are a sea salt. Yeah.
Yeah, sea salt neutral. That one's fine because once you have the herbs, then it's going to mess with the flavors that are on the board. I really actually liked the sparkling with that goat cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And again, I'm not a goat cheese fan. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm not thrilled. But this particular goat cheese with the herbs went well with the sparkling. It just had a nice balance to it. I'm going to move on to the prosciutto and cheese.
I'm going to move on and try something with a little bit of chocolate with some red wine. Oh, dark chocolate goes well with a good cab.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll add a little bit of strawberry. That is just good stuff. Makes you want to sit out on the patio.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, with a couple of friends and just talk about the good old times and
there you go.
hang out. Yeah.
This was, so I was very surprised. So these are, I got these marinated teriyaki portobello
Yeah.
house mushrooms. They're in a jar. Private selection from
Is it
Kroger.
like a Kirkland or no Kroger?
Yeah, they're private selection. So that's
Yeah.
a Kroger brand. I saw it. I had never seen it before, and I was like, "Hey, try that." Because if I'm going to do a canned or a jarred mushroom, it's usually for a recipe, a very specific recipe. I don't usually have it for eating, but this one, eating by itself. Of course, the other ones are also for eating, but eating by itself. This particular private selection teriyaki portobello sliced mushrooms, um, they have they're not powerful teriyaki. They have a nice hint of teriyaki. So you got a little bit of sweetness in there, but then you also got the texture of the mushrooms. And they actually, I wasn't sure how it was going to go with the sparkling, but I think it went well. I do like that. I don't know how it's going to go with the Chardonnay. I should probably open the little Chardonnay guy.
Yep.
And
Maybe.
and I do have two of my small glasses. This is from the Metropolitan Hispanic Chamber. They did an event with wine and mariachis 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty cool because they had Latino-owned wineries in the area. They only showcased four. There's three others that couldn't make it this year, but they gave us the little glass. And then, of course, this one is from a half marathon that I did. She flies with her own wings, so that one's kind of cool. So those are my two little guys that I thought I'd bring into the mix instead of the stemmed glasses that I have. So this
Well,
one's
when you're just sitting around the house, do you like stemmed glasses for wine, or do you like those small ones?
I have this one glass. It's actually kind of cool that Sean's mom gave me. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to dragon something or other. They have this indentation, so when you're holding it, two of your fingers go into this indentation, and it's really cool. And then and I use that not just for wine, but sometimes just for sparkling water or what have you. But I love those stemless when I'm having a wine at home. I do have my big goblets, that are perfect for Pinot Noirs, but I also have one that it tilts on its side that it's just wide. It's really cool. So it's like a smaller glass, but it's wide at the bottom. And so when the way it sits sideways. So technically you could use it for a Scotch whiskey, or you could use it for like a red wine.
Okay.
But usually I like those just easy to not have to worry about stemmed glasses. And we had burgers yesterday for dinner, and we paired it with a red wine. And we went with stemless, the bigger ones than these, the stemless, because hello, we're not going to use stems for burgers because that's just ridiculous. So, but yeah, we had wine with our burgers yesterday.
Wine with burgers isn't a bad idea sometimes, though.
Oh yeah, burgers are good, especially when it's a half a pound burger with grilled mushrooms and onions in red wine. And you have mine didn't have cheese. Mine was a burger. His was Sean's had cheese on it. And then the melted cheese on his, and then the mushrooms and the onions on top. And then of course on the other side you had your lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles. And then of course your mayo and mustard. I actually added the stone ground, like a coarse ground Dijon.
Yeah.
And it was really good on mine. It went so well with the mushrooms. I was like, yes. And then a side salad and wine. I mean, it was really good. It was a delicious dinner that was just like, hey, you know what? This works. So, all right. So I'm going to try the goat cheese again. Me and goat cheese. I'm actually, this goat cheese is growing on me. I'm very particular. Like even blue cheese, I don't care for blue cheese, but I will tolerate it if I need to. But I'm really liking the goat cheese with this Marionberry habanero jam.
Do you think maybe it's because your accent? You like it because of the accent, the jam.
Mm.
Sometimes it's the accent that brings out the taste we like, not necessarily the product. Because then we go back and taste the product with something else, and we realize we didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like a goat cheese. All right, and Gwen makes this salad that we found. It's a beet and kale salad. It has goat cheese into it, pistachios. It's like a red wine dressing.
Okay.
And you put the goat cheese into it. It's great. Take that same goat cheese, put it on a hamburger. Oh God, I'm out.
Yeah, I've seen hamburgers with blue cheese crumbles in it, and I'm not a big blue cheese fan either, but on a burger, no, I want a type of cheddar. A cheddar goes well on a burger. I don't know about Swiss. Swiss is okay. I guess the Swiss would do well if you have, some peppers in there. So that would be fine. So this Chardonnay is it's nice. It almost smells almost like a sweetness, but it's not sweet because I don't do sweet wines. But it has a certain, I don't know, like lemony, citrusy type, not lemony, but more of a citrus because it's not like that citrus smell. It's not lemon smell. It's more citrus because it's more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a pretty color on it. I mean, look at that pretty yellow. And it's not buttery. Normally that's the problem I have is I like that.
See, that's the one white wine I really don't ever go to is Chardonnay.
Right.
And I've tried tasting a ton of it. I'll taste it. It's okay. I'm hardly ever going to pour a second glass.
Right.
So. But I will drink a Sauvignon Blanc from just about anywhere. I think I can count on one hand how many bad ones I've had in my 50 years.
You're not 71 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Pennsylvania upbringing. That I'm 57 years old. And I've only been drinking since I was 8 years old. So, yeah, I know.
So these olives, caparilla, I think it is olives, are pretty good. They're not too salty, not too briny. They go well with the Chardonnay. The mushrooms, the teriyaki mushrooms go well with the Chardonnay. This is a very versatile Chardonnay. I will have to say, these other olives, they were in vermouth. They were infused in vermouth. So this one's going to be a different flavor. A little bit more briny, a little bit saltier. And oh wow, I was expecting there to be a little bit of a clash, and the Chardonnay just hugged it and said, "Okay, I'll tone down your saltiness. I'll tone down that." That went well. This Chardonnay is actually kind of nice. It went well with the olives, both olives. Went well with the goat cheese. It went well with the teriyaki, and it went well with the salami and cheese. So it's a very versatile wine. And I don't know that this has the year on it. It does not. But it is 13.5% alcohol by volume. The sparkling is 11.5% alcohol by volume. There is sulfites in this one. Contains sulfites. most of the wines, there are very few that you're going to find without sulfites because they do need to keep.
Yeah.
If these didn't have sulfites, they wouldn't be good a year later. So, I'm going to move on. I'm going to open up that Pinot. So I don't know if you can tell, but look at the color.
Wow.
So this one you can almost see through on the Pinot Noir, and then the Cab is that much darker. So the colors are just beautiful. Where you can see up here, I think that's where you can see the color.
You can in a way see through the Pinot, but you can't see through the Cab.
Right.
Well, and they're all clear bottles, right?
Yep, they are clear bottles. So I'm going to pour this into my other glass because I don't want to mix if I do decide to take another little sip of that. So this is the Pinot Noir. It is a pretty color, but it is light. It's hard to see on the camera, but it is rich, but not like that really rich red. It's still I can see through it, if you will, as best as you can see through red, but so this one is supposed to have flavors of red and black berries with a little bit of cinnamon and silky.
I just read on the bottom of this bottle that I'm drinking. One of 7,800 bottles.
Wow, very specific.
And it is the last one in our wine closet.
Okay. Wow.
I'll bet you I won't find one of the other 7,800.
You can go hunting, see how that goes.
I'll bet you they're all drank.
Right. What year is that one?
2020.
Oh, wow. That's 3 years old. Some people maybe may have it in their wine cellar.
Wait a minute. What's the oldest bottle of wine you have in your collection? I think
I did have a 2001 until it got open.
The oldest one we have.
2006. Okay.
This is out of Napa. This is what is it? Saddleback Cellars.
Okay.
This one here, I guarantee you, if we tried to sell this one right now, it'd probably close to $1,000. People are probably seeking to find this one.
Yeah, I was going to say probably close to 1,000. Yeah.
Not
my French bottle of Merlot was a 2001 or 2002 that I got in 2003. It was given to me in 2003.
And you still have it, or you opened it?
Oh, it got opened, and I was not happy when that got opened.
We try to get that when they do that brand every year from Saddleback. We try to get it. That is just the oldest one we've been able to hold on to that we don't tap open for some family event.
Right.
But like we started going there in 2009 and 10 when we first started dating.
Oh.
Yeah, so we've been going there for a long time, and we've been members all the time. Yeah.
So right now,
it is our favorite winery. I will say this. I love it even over my Texas wineries.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I do have a Ponty. I don't know if it's a Cab or if it's a Pinot Noir. It might be a Cab because it is Southern California, 2005, and it's a bigger bottle, one of those Magnum ones. It's a 2005 vineyard, and I haven't opened that one, so that one's there. I should probably open it and see how it tastes. But I will tell you that one from France, when that got opened, I didn't know it had gotten open. I take a sip of it and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is absolutely delicious. What is it? Oh, it's this one. And I'm like, you opened my bottle of wine.
No.
Yeah. And there's certain things that I'm like, you don't touch, you don't open. I have a couple of tequilas that I'm like, nope. I have a whiskey that's I haven't measured. It's like, nope, that's a very, you have a little bit once in a great while. I haven't touched it in a couple years. It's just that delicious. So there's certain things that I know I can't get again. And if I can't replace it, then no, don't touch it. I'm not
Um,
touching it. If I'm not touching it, you're not allowed to touch it.
there was a movie out a couple years ago. Gosh, probably 10 years now. Keira Knightley was in it.
Okay.
And I think it was based either around Seattle or Portland. I can't remember. It was one of those one of the bigger two northwestern
Okay.
towns. And she basically leaves to go hide and get away from her life and boyfriend for a week, and ends up staying at the house of this teenage girl she met, and gets to connect with the father, who the father then realizes that she's not a teenager, she's over 21. And basically says to this girl, "Yeah, you can have something to drink. I don't mind, but I'd stay away from that boxed wine in the refrigerator because it kind of tastes like water." And earlier in the movie, the daughter said, "Oh yeah, we just siphon wine out of Dad's box wine and we just add water to it." Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's funny. The Pinot went well with the salami.
Yeah.
I gotta try it out with the mushroom, because this mushroom, oh my goodness, I will have to say I'm very impressed with that. Oh wow. The Pinot Noir gives the teriyaki a little bit of a kick. It's like, wow, it's definitely a kick in there. Okay. Wow. I might have to pull out another piece because I'm down to like a half a piece.
Wow.
This is really good. I liked it. I never thought I was gonna like it. It was just try something new. And I didn't want to pull out or I didn't want to buy another um artichoke hearts because Sean has a big old jar that I could have taken from and I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things that I'm like, man, I should have brought. It's fine. I'm working with what I have and the other things I picked up, but I really liked this teriyaki mushrooms. That's a winner. I will buy this again. And not specifically for charcuterie. So, but I probably should try it with the chocolate. So you really liked your chocolate with the red,
Chocolate
right?
because I have a dark chocolate Hershey's, and I tried the non-darks with it, and it wasn't as good as the dark chocolate was.
The Pinot Noir does make it a little bit creamier with the nuts. But let's cleanse the palate there with nuts and crackers. And maybe even a little bit of goat cheese. So I'm going to open the Chardonnay. Doesn't want to get open. So
I know you said Chardonnay, but you meant Cabernet.
Sorry. Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, Chardonnay. Chardonnay is white, people. Mm-hmm. Cabernet is red. Big difference. There we go.
So let me ask this: you're going to a tasting at a winery. You taste through your whites, you taste through your reds. What's the one you wait till last because it's your favorite?
Usually a cab will be at the end, unless there's a port. I don't like sweets, but if they have a good port, I do want to try it. And if they have a little chocolate, sometimes they'll give it to you in a little chocolate cup that's like not even maybe an inch, it's just this little cap. And then you drink it out of this chocolate cup and then you eat the chocolate cup. That's a lot of fun. more for fun than anything else. But I definitely want to end with a cab. Now, if I've
Oh.
done the flight and we're going to be there for a little bit and we're going to hang out, then depending on the time of year, I'm either going to go with a white of some sort or a Pinot Noir. Oregon just makes delicious Pinot Noirs. If I'm in at the Wilson winery down in the Temecula area, their almond sparkling is absolutely delicious. So yes, then I would want to sit outside and just hang out for a bit with a glass of the sparkling. So I think it just depends on the winery, depends on the time of year. It depends on the area that I'm in.
Mhm.
All of those things will determine if I'm gonna have a glass of wine. But most of the time, I'm going to 3 wineries, and tasting, and then what I'm taking home is going to be what I'm going to be drinking later on. Not today, but maybe tomorrow.
No, I limit now. If I'm going tasting in a day, 3 wineries are my max. At the 3rd winery, I'm losing taste. I've tasted too much. Right. But the
And
wine,
that is
they
so
have
true.
it. If they have it, and I see it's coming down in the tasting, it's my last thing to taste every time. Is an old vine zen.
Oh yeah.
If they've got an old vine zen, oh my gosh, I'm like, everything's going to compare to the old vine zen for me because that is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
And I actually found a vineyard in 2012 or 2010. I think it was 2010. Central Valley, Central Coast.
Okay. Yeah.
They had an old vine zen and they were trying to sell out of a 2005. So when we were there, we bought a case, got it shipped home. When we were home, after being home for a month, I went back on their website and ordered another case.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Before 2011 hit, I went through 3 cases of their old vine zen. It was that good. I kept. You got a case available? Yeah, I'll take a case. Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
So you were sipping on it at the end of the day.
Yeah. I found that one. I think it was the 2nd winery in that day. I found that one because we did 3 wineries that day. It was in Paso Robles.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Oh,
I can't remember the name of the winery, to tell you the truth now. I want to say it was Norman Vineyards, but I could be wrong.
So you haven't purchased their they haven't purchased any since then?
I haven't seen any of their wines since then. I don't know if they're even open as a winery anymore. I think that's the one that closed. There's one of them that we went to that day that closed. It is no longer open.
So the cab did not go well with my teriyaki. I didn't care for it. But it did go well with chocolate. So I will try with the goat cheese because gotta try with the goat cheese. Well, that's kind of sad when you find something you really, really like and then it's no longer available. It's like,
well,
oh, that's
I think it was that I've never had any of the newer ones. It was that 2005. Sometimes a year makes a difference.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because the weather's different.
Because of the weather, all right? A taste becomes totally different between 2 years, and you could totally love something one year, and the next year it tastes like crap.
Well, one of the wineries that I went to not that long ago, and I've been to it before, one of the years that we ended up getting a bottle of wine, it was really good. Well, the following year, what happened was that they couldn't get to their vines because it's on this steep hill.
Mm-hmm.
And it had rained so much that they couldn't get not the tractor, but whatever they needed to get up there, it couldn't get up there. It just kept sliding off. So they had to hand pick what they could pick. And so they had very few bottles that they were able to make out of it because they didn't have a full vineyard to take from, because by the time it dried out enough, it was too late. They couldn't do it. So a lot of different things can go wrong. Sometimes the weather, is it a dry blah blah blah, or is it a wet? Is it hot? Is it mild? What's going on with it? There's a lot of different factors that go into play with each of the years and the vineyards and what they go through. Here in Oregon, we get a lot of great Pinot Noirs, but some years are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a huge difference. So yeah, year to year, things make a difference.
A little more of that dark chocolate. So we found a wine, and I was almost going to open it, but I have 2 bottles left.
Mm.
And I did not want to break them open because I've not been out there for a while to get them.
Okay.
But I don't have any reds left. I only have the whites left. But they have it from New Mexico. They have a white hatch chili wine and a red hatch chili wine.
Oh, okay.
Where they take the wine, the grapes, and they infuse it with the hatch chilies.
Yes.
And all right, the white is kind of like your in your whites, it's kind of like your I want to say it's not quite it's not Chardonnay. It's more sweeter than Chardonnay, but it's more but it has a little more savory to it than sweet than your Sauvignon Blanc. So I'm almost like in the Chenin Blanc type area. All right. And then the sweetness that is into it is from the chilies. So it has a sweetness with a bite.
Mm.
And they have it both in white and they have it in red. Now the red is made with, I think the red is made with a chili powder, not a actual chili.
Okay.
All right. Pepper. And still, I mean, it's still really, really good. So it's a chili powder being added to the red wine. And the same thing, all right. It's your cab, but it's not sweet, and it's not really on your dry end. It's just in between, and that chili added to it. It's like a spice. You know what I mean? It's like adding some spice to your food. All right. Not peppering it up, but adding spice to it.
Yeah, where's the winery at? Where are they? Are they in New Mexico?
The winery's in New Mexico, and I think the grapes are grown in the northern part of New Mexico. Okay. We found their tasting room where they do have some growing down there in southern, which is off of I-10 in Deming, New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
But most of their grapes are grown up in the north of Albuquerque.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you would have been in Albuquerque or something like that, or maybe the Alamogordo area. Okay, nice. Yeah, I can get hatch chilies out here. Somebody was just talking about it last week, and I'm like, you can get it in Oregon, but when you can see it, you need to get it because once they're gone, you're not going to get it again until next year.
Yeah,
and it's very specific. And when I saw hatch chilies over here, it was like I got a whole case because when I lived in Texas in El Paso, we would go to Hatch, New Mexico all the time, just drive through there, a cute little town, and we would get the Hatch chilies that were already roasted. Even in El Paso, we could go to the blah, blah, blah store and they were outside roasting the chilies and you can just get a bag of roasted chilies and then you can do whatever you wanted with it. And you're getting the chilies for dirt cheap. Out here, it's like premium and it's like, you want me to spend how much? And then I'm like, fine. I'll spend the money because I know I like it.
From where you lived in El Paso to the winery where we went to the tasting, you're not even a half-day drive.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours maybe. This is the name of the winery right here.
Okay.
I just don't have their wine up here. But anyway, I think this one here is from that winery, but I could be wrong. I just didn't open it today.
Okay.
So this is a
New Mexico. Okay. Our signature series cab 630. Is it 63I or 631?
I think it's supposed to be 631.
Okay.
And there's a significance as to why it's named. It's a 2018. So it's a couple years old.
More than a couple. You're looking at 5-year-old there, and it's starting to get some good flavors in there.
I know. I love getting wines from these wineries and having some bottles around 5 years, 10 years later.
Yeah.
It's
They're always fun.
Yeah.
Get some good flavors in there. It's like nom 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 nom.
Mm-hmm. So my favorite thing today is still the pate because I love a good pate. I know you didn't have any pate.
I did not, but you didn't have pickles, and the pickles didn't go with anything either. But I was very impressed with my portobello mushrooms. This Marionberry habanero from Kelly's. There it is. KellysJellies.com. Oh my goodness. I love it. You know, she's got the right there.
Yep.
There's the
Her
Oregon
logo and
map.
story. Yep.
So recipes at Kelly's Jellies. So I'm going to look up recipes because I know I can do more than just jelly toast or PB&J with this. This portobello sliced mushrooms, very impressed with that. I now have realized that I do like this herb goat cheese with the Marionberry jelly. That was really good. And of course, the tried and true prosciutto with sharp white. That's always good to have. And it just took me back to Valencia.
Interesting.
Didn't touch my grapes. I think they were there just to look pretty. Or my blueberries.
No grapes on my plate. I'm shocked.
But this was a good choice. I'm glad I was able to talk about One Hope Wine. And if any of you are interested in doing a virtual tasting, that can happen. I got people that will hook you up and take care of you. And virtual tastings can be a lot of fun. I've done a few during COVID. I did like 2 or 3. I've gone to a few myself during COVID and after COVID. They were just fun because you're at home. Yeah. You get your whiskey or you get your wine, whatever it is. You go learn some history, learn some information about the product, and you're at home. So you don't have to worry about getting a designated driver. You're just home. So that's kind of fun.
Which is what we do every Monday night. Our virtual tasting. You can be at home and taste with us. No.
Good pickles. But they got me right here, right now. I might need some of the.
We are at episode 69. Let's talk about the history of our show. We're at 69 episodes. Next week we will hit 70 episodes. We are 30 episodes away from our 100th episode. All right.
That's exciting. We're gonna have to do something fun.
We will have to do something fun for our 100th episode. Yes, definitely. But some of the things I think that, you know what I mean, as I sit and look at what we've done and how much fun we've had with this. All right. Sean is virtually tasting right now. Yeah, Sean. Anyway. Cheers, Sean. Love you, buddy.
If you say cheers, you got to take a sip. Otherwise, he's going to come back on you. It's very particular.
I'm thinking we make them more virtual tastings, and we announce to people ahead of time what we're going to be tasting in the show, so some people can get it and taste with us.
And I think we do try to do that.
Yeah.
We're just haven't been pushing it, going, hey, next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll do on the show, we'll announce what we might be doing next week. Sometimes it's a surprise. But I think for our 100th episode, we definitely need to get everybody to know exactly what we're doing, whatever that is. We haven't decided, y'all. It's 30 episodes or 31 episodes out. We already know what we're doing next week because we had carved out the last
month. We have planned next week. Just saying.
Yep. And then we'll plan out the next 4 weeks. So we may need to decide what we're going to do for our 100th. That way we don't do anything else. We don't do that 100th before we get there.
Yeah.
So we'll need to share that and brainstorm. So if you have some ideas of what we should do, we might take them into consideration, y'all.
Oh. I can see who. I can see now who gives us the likes and loves. By the way.
And we like you all back. Thank you so much.
Elizabeth Morales and Nick Cree, thank you for the likes. Sean,
that's one of my
and
cousins.
Barb, thank you
Sean.
for the love.
Very cool. My peeps.
Sean says we should bring back 5 favorites.
5 favorites of yours or 5 favorites of ours?
Oh no. I think on our 100th episode we should retire something.
Oh, so never again do blank?
Again, so it will be on 100 episode. We will have a drink and we will say this will be the last time it will be on the episode. All right. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, you'd like to retire White Russians because
I think we can retire White Russians now. So anyway,
you were tortured through those 4 weeks of Russians, of White Russians, or Russians, different ones. Yeah. Oh, good times. But this was a good choice.
Hey, you know what? I think we can officially retire Bud Light.
Did we ever have Bud Light on the?
Because I doubt we would never. First of all, we would never have it on the show.
I think we're more likely to have a Coors Light on the show than a Bud Light on the show.
I'm thinking like Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. I think all of those are probably the last thing on this show.
Yeah, we've never had any of those on the show.
No. So see, Sean's giving us all kinds of ideas now.
Ooh.
5 of Tim's favorites, 5 of Gladys's favorites. And then we get wait a minute. And then we get 2 guests to do a countdown. All right. And we eliminated to make a champion. Ooh. So we have to get guest tasters and bring them into the audience one by one. And we have a taste off. And crown a champion.
Okay.
No.
Now you're making me think.
I know. So we're at 57 minutes into the show. What's left on your plate?
I have a lot left on my plate, man.
I know, I do too.
I got plenty of goat cheese. I got 1 prosciutto. I got some salami. I got a lot of cheese. I got still some of the jelly. I got the mushrooms are going to be gone before we're done. We got, some of the olives here and the blueberries. So yeah, I still have some of that. But the wine, it is not drank. I did not drink all of it.
I didn't drink all my wine either, but like I have half the cheese.
Yeah.
Half the pate.
Which that's going to be gone in a moment.
Yeah, it'll be gone. But almost all my carrots, my peas are almost gone, and almost all of my nuts and fruit. I only have 1 piece of prosciutto left, and I have 2 of my 4 strawberries. So
I have most of my wine. Actually, more than half my wine is still here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, while we were talking, all right, Sean's trying to make sure we remember him.
Pick me to do the tastings.
Yeah, he wants to be in on the tastings.
That means you have to, and he can be partial if he likes yours better than mine.
I have a problem with that because I think I know who he's going to pick.
Not if he likes yours. If he likes yours better, he will pick yours over mine.
Sean, I'm not a dumb guy. It is episode number 69.
And what are we doing next episode?
I think we're doing tequilas.
Yep.
Did you find that tequila I was looking for?
I did. I picked it up today. Lalo Tequila. They had it.
This is next week, ladies and gentlemen. Along with some good old guacamole.
I make good guac. I will tell you, my guac's better than yours.
Sean, we're having tequila. You might want to be there to drive her home.
I'm seriously thinking of going home for that one because that
Yeah.
one, tequila can spank you. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
tequila's the one that can wipe you out good.
yeah. Yeah. There was this meme that I saw years ago that it had, all the liquors were coming to the party. All the liquors would come in the party. Tequila was not being allowed in. And all the liquors were in the party. Everybody was having a good time. And the moment tequila came into the party, party's over. I'll have to find it and I'll post it on the Facebook page because yeah, tequila is quite interesting. It's pretty sad. So one of my clients had asked me to do a tequila tasting next Saturday. He canceled it for personal reasons with his family. I was so looking forward to it to be able to bring the history of tequila, the history of these particular tequilas, and then to be able to pair them with food. So he has a Mexican restaurant, so he was going to pair it with food, and then I was going to be able to do my thing and just share what goes with what and why, and a little bit of history, a little bit of information, notes to take home. So I was looking forward to it. But you know what? I'm kind of glad that it's okay that taking care of family is more important, and that's okay. But yeah, I would have needed a designated driver for that unless I was like taking only one sip and setting it down because it was 4 tequilas.
Tequila's
Yeah.
one drink that I'm glad I'm at home when we taste it because we've had it on the show. I think 3 times now. No,
Has it been 3? I think it will be 3 this time.
I think this one will be 3.
Yeah.
No. Anyway,
but you can never retire tequila. That's one thing we
tequila will
cannot.
never be. There's, I think, tequila, vodka, and bourbon are the 3 things that will never be retired on the show.
No, well, you know what? I'd retire a bourbon over a whiskey.
Well, no. We may retire a certain. I'm thinking we retire a certain brand or a certain blend. Like technically, we've retired Bud Light and light beer. Technically, we've retired them. They will never make it on our show.
Yeah, they were. I think they were retired before we started the show.
Before we started the show, yeah.
We had that conversation because we're very particular. There are things that we like.
Yeah. You know what? That would be a show. Things we don't like. All right. Think about that.
Okay. Don't like it. Well, you know what? We did do Guinness. You didn't like it, but
I didn't like Guinness, but I loved Guinness how we did it. So yeah, we paired it right how we did it. But there's nothing you can pair with Bud Light, Keystone Light, light beer. I'm sorry. There is nothing you can pair with them that makes them an appetizing drink. That's like drinking, that's like drinking 1985 Folgers coffee. Not happening.
Good times. But thank you all for being here today. This was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
we need more of these episodes like this where we just sit down, have a little bit to eat, have a little bit to drink, and talk about it. Yeah. So
this is always fun. And to be able to do some good while we're doing it, that's always even more fun. So, and let others know about what we can do. We truly need to do like a One Hope wine tasting one day where everybody just purchases their flight, and then we go through and we have somebody from One Hope actually go through the tasting. I mean, we could do it, but to have somebody from the organization do it, I think that would be a lot of fun. So we'll have to work with them on that.
We'll see. I think it's very cool. I bet if we reached out to them, they'd be willing to do that with an episode with us.
Oh, I think they will, because they do a lot of virtual tastings. I mean, they were doing virtual tastings before virtual tastings were a thing through COVID.
Yeah.
They were doing that already. So yeah, I think they would.
Cool. All right. Well, before we go, we got to tell a little bit about our businesses and why, who we are, why we sponsor this thing, right? So we're going to start with ladies first, as always.
Thank you, sir. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I help small business owners with their employee benefits. Right now, the entire U.S. is going through a redetermination on their Medicaid. If you have staff members that are losing their insurance through the state-based insurance, guess what? They need help. Let me know if you are not in Oregon, Washington, California. I could probably connect you with a broker that's in your local state that will help your staff with that. you can go to insurancedesignpros.com. At the upper left-hand corner, you will notice where it says 101 employee benefits for all budgets. Download that white paper and I will send you more information. We'll stay in communication. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my lovely co-host.
Hey guys, Tim Gillette. Simple, easy websites. That's right, simple and easy to get the website up and going. We have a thing where we say that if your website is not making you money, we can fix that. Yes, we can. We now have a new member on our team. Jessica Gillette is our new sales manager. All right. If you want to reach out to her and talk about what's going on with your website, maybe get an evaluation. All right. You reach out sales@simpleeasywebsite.com. And Jessica will book a call with you, go over your website with you. All right. She's going to be honest. If you've got a website that's working good, she's going to tell you it's working good. If you've got something that you've got to make 2 tweaks to, she's going to tell you that rather than try to sell you a website. We're all about getting people on the web and getting their business making money using the internet. Tim Gillette, Simple Easy Websites. Check us out. And our show is Like the Way You Drink. You can find that at likethewayyoudrink.com.
Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We need more subscribers. Follow us on Facebook and all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Apple, what have you. You're going to find Odyssey. You can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms.
Yep. So go follow us wherever you see here, whether it be on the audio podcast, on social media. Follow us wherever you see us. All right. Give us a shout out. Tell us what you like in every episode you watch, man. This show was not designed for me to just taste what I like. It's about what all of us like. So in the meantime, all right, guys, cheers. We'll see you guys next week.